Okay.
All the work stuff. I did try to get the one to where your
I'd like to
contract.
call this meeting to order of September 19th. And as we gather today, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of this committee and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Please join me in a moment of silent reflection, please. Thank you. Just a few comments as far as my address. On behalf of council, I attended a couple of events. The KPP grand opening, which was outstanding, by the way. The Lions 75th anniversary, the Friendship Club 50th anniversary, and the Curling Club 50th anniversary. A few functions. Does any member of council have any pecuniary or financial interest to declare? Ted? And now we'd like to move into our delegations and welcome Cindy Phillips from Community Futures. I saw Cindy in her presentation at County Council, and I thought it would be very worthwhile for our group to hear what she has to say, and so that it can get broadcasted further.
Okay.
So take it.
Repeat for you.
That's okay.
Thank you.
It always takes me twice to.
Okay. Good evening, members of the council, guests, staff. Thank you for having me here this evening. I'm really just going to do an overview of the services that we offer at Brantford County Community Futures Development Corporation. I probably won't say that name in full too many times. It's a mouthful. Yeah, whenever you're ready, we'll get straight. Well, to explain that up. So my name is Cindy Phillips. I am the executive director with Brantford County Community Futures. I started with Community Futures last June, so it's just been a little over a year, not quite a year and a half for me. But my background is in the municipal world, upper tier and lower tier in Ontario and Quebec, as economic development officer and then director. So my background is in economic development. There we go. Go ahead. Oh dear. I'm going to apologize in advance. I did not remove all of the little transitions on this version. I'm so sorry. We'll go through them quick. So about the Community Futures program, we are operationally funded by the Government of Canada through the Federal Development Agency for Southern Ontario, also known as FedDev. We are part of a network of 60 CFDCs across the province of Ontario and 270 across Canada. So quite a few of us. Each CFDC, however, is its own individually incorporated not-for-profit corporation. And we have been incorporated and serving Brantford County since 1986, so for quite some time. Next slide, please. The CF program is designed to support business, to support community-based economic development and employment. And really, we focus on three main objectives. We offer support to community projects. We maintain a sustainable loan program. And we offer business counseling, workshops, and seminars to local businesses and communities. Next slide. So one of our main, or if not the main mandate that we have is to offer small business financing. I'll start off by saying that our clients are always encouraged to go the traditional route first, like go see your local bank with whom you have a relationship. We're not here to replace financial institutions. We're really there when a financial institution can't help out a business for whatever reason. maybe the project isn't suitable for the bank, maybe it's not available. But Brantford County Community Futures, we can step in and we can help finance any viable business venture. That can look like help to purchase equipment or startup if you're looking to expand, even if you just need working capital to get you through certain periods. We certainly deal with a lot of seasonal businesses, and we can step in to bridge the seasonality gap that sometimes exists. In terms of amounts, in our traditional term loans, we can go up to $150,000. However, if there is a project or business case made where it has a significant impact on the economy of a community, or if there's significant job creation, we have the flexibility to go up to $300,000. And that is our ceiling. If there's a project that needs more money than that, we have a few options we can look at. We can look at partnering with other organizations like the Business Development Bank of Canada. FedDev Ontario also has its own loan programs that we can sometimes refer clients to or partner with them on larger loans. But we cannot lend over $300,000. And you can see at the bottom our impact by the numbers since inception. We've done almost $44 million now in loans, which has leveraged almost $40 million for various projects. And just shy of $5,000 jobs created with the money that we have loaned out. So in a small municipality like Brantford County, it's big numbers. Next slide, please. So what makes us different, I suppose, than a traditional financial institution? One of the biggest differences is that the decisions aren't made at a head office in Toronto that really doesn't understand, the local environment. We have a board of directors, which is comprised of local volunteers with various expertise and backgrounds, and those are the decisions, and they're the decision makers, and they're made locally. All the aftercare on a loan is also done at the local level by myself and my team. We have developed very close relationships with our clients. We keep in touch with them. It's not just, here's your money and, we'll talk to you if you miss a payment. That's not the relationship that we want to build with a client. We make sure that we're touching base with them regularly. We make sure that everything's going okay. Do you have any concerns? How can we be there to help you? We know the local economy, and we have an insight into the impact that a particular project might have in a community. It's not always the case if you're going to the bank and trying to convince them that you need, $50,000 to do this in Killaloe or in Combermere or a small municipality. They don't always get it. So that's the nice thing about having the decisions made locally, is we do understand. And we have a lot more flexibility in terms of what we accept for loan guarantees and security. The repayment terms, we can tailor those to suit the needs of any particular business. I mentioned earlier seasonality, we can reduce to lower payments when it's your off season and then ramp up in your high season. We have the flexibility to make sure that we're going to work with what you can manage. In terms of, how we assess applications, it's various criteria. We look at the impact it's going to have on the local economy. We look at the employment that a particular project is going to create. And we look at the overall business climate in a community as well. And that's just to name a few. Next slide, please. Sorry. Over the course of the last 6 months, I'll say, we have introduced a couple of new loan products. One of them I spoke about at County Council, and that is our Community Improvement Plan matching loan. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe you currently have a CIP in place for the township, but and I would say maybe half of the municipalities in Brantford County have an active CIP in place. But the goal of this is to help municipalities that do have CIP plans in place, help the uptake, help businesses kind of attain those grants, because we can come in with the matching dollars. Almost every CIP grant is structured so that a business has to have a matching contribution. So we can step in and help bridge the gap if that's a barrier to people accessing grants. The other matching loan product that we introduced was for Starter Company Plus. Starter Company Plus is a program that's administered by Enterprise Renfrew County for new entrepreneurs starting up. It's they can sort of pitch to win a grant at the end of the program. And if they are successful in receiving a grant, they are pre-approved for a matching loan from CFDC. So next slide, I'll talk a little bit about our community economic development work that we do. Really, we work alongside a lot of our community partners to do economic development assistance. We can assist municipalities if you're looking at doing community development plans, strategic planning. We are currently working with Amnesty and Bromley to help guide them through their strategic planning process. It's not that we will do it for you, but we can offer assistance and guidance on how you move through that process. One of my staff recently did a lot of work with one of the First Nations as well. We look at the big picture, health of our businesses. We can help with retention and expansion projects if that's something a municipality is looking to undertake through OMAFRA. Some examples of some of the larger projects we've been involved with over the years: the Ottawa River Heritage Designation. We were very involved in the Selling Food in Ontario workshops. We were involved in the feasibility study for the new Algonquin College campus in the city of Pembroke, just to name a few community development initiatives that we have been involved in. I will mention also one of the grant programs that we have applied for now 4 years in a row and have been successful in receiving is called the Francophone Community Grant Program. And what that is, it's really flow-through dollars where we can offer a wage subsidy to employers who are hiring bilingual or Francophone employees. And it's not public yet, but we just got approved for our 4th year of funding through that. So that'll be an additional $50,000 that will flow through to Renfrew County businesses. So happy to say that. Next slide. We offer business counseling and support to our businesses. We're a small team. There are 4 of us all together that manage the Renfrew County office. We do in-depth counseling one-on-one with our clients. We work with partners to offer workshops. We partner with Enterprise Renfrew County quite often and or other CFDCs to put on workshops. If we don't know at the end of the day, we have a pretty wide network where we can reach out, and chances are we'll be able to find the answer that you or your businesses are looking for. So another new thing, we have been located in the town of Renfrew since prior to COVID, a number of years prior to COVID. And this spring, as of April 1st, we moved to a new business model with 2 satellite offices. So we now have a satellite office in the town of Renfrew and one in the city of Pembroke too. So it's just more opportunity for clients to find us, easier to find us, 2 locations, but we will always get on the road and go to see our clients as well. So that's it for me. I'm happy to answer any questions. I have left cards. Feel free to reach out, and always feel free to refer businesses to us. We're happy to help. Thank you.
Why don't we start, Brian? Jiminy, you're good.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. You were in the 15-minute rounds.
Right.
Right off the last.
Thanks, Sydney.
Bye.
Mr. Gardner, you're up next. Scott is the shoreline director for Round Lake Properties Association.
Mayor, guests, and member of council, thank you for having me. I'm here to discuss the public boat launch that's located beside St. Catherine's Church in Round Lake Center. Basically, what I wanted to discuss was that since 2018, it's been an ongoing issue that the boat launch does need to be addressed in terms of the water levels at the water, not on the concrete side, but actually where the boat docks are. I was actually at the boat launch today, and there's basically two poles that hold the docks in place. At the first pole, the water level is 20 inches. At the last pole, which is 40 feet out, it's 19 inches. So obviously the sand is going up. I don't think I'm telling anybody here anything that they're not aware of already. And obviously, whether you do the office or whoever, you're having people comment, especially this time of year when the water gets lower, it just exacerbates the problem even more. And as I said, since 2018, Rob Norris, that everybody knows him as the president here for the Round Lake Property Owners Association, he's been addressing this, but unfortunately through, I don't know what the reason is, we've not made it forward in terms of having any action on it that we're aware of. I know that he has spoken with Pete about it at length, but I guess the thing is, we're now elapsed this much time, we're 5 years, and we're really no further ahead. And I guess what I'm trying to look at is, I've already spoken to Rob about this. Round Lake Property Owners Association is willing to contribute to the solution. We're willing to contribute dollars. We're willing to contribute people. So I guess my biggest part of this would be is to address it in terms of, I don't know, and maybe Dean could enlighten me of what's been done thus far. I have done some research on my own just because of absence of not knowing what has been done thus far. I've spoken to some companies that have solutions for it, and with the ecological presence in mind and all those factors as well. So if I'm allowed to, I wouldn't mind if Dean could update all of us, I guess, unless everybody knows the status of it. Because at that point, then I'd also like to provide to everyone some viable solutions that have been implemented elsewhere. I've even gone so far as asked for pricing and turnaround times and all those type of things. And I guess my main point of this is we're also in that bubble right now of water's going down. We have that window that we can really jump on and resolve the issue. So it's kind of time is of the essence, as you know, as much as everyone here hears about the downside of the water going down, we can actually make this to our advantage. So I guess that's my first question. I guess to yourself.
Okay, so yeah, so previous council, they addressed that issue as well, and then brought forth. So we do have the two extra sections of dock. By the time we got it, there's no second put it in, because you know, by the time we put it in, whatever, there's going to be lights on it to extend. I was looking at the map system to Rob Norris, he was saying about people getting stuck, blah, blah, blah. But the more I talk to people about the crushing mat, it's all kind of smooth. Okay. So they probably get stuck when we in place that. So we haven't really came up with another solution yet. Because like I said, we back in with the crushing mat, it's all the surface like this, right. It's all black and it's all. If we put that in there, I'm sure they're gonna probably get stuck pulling it out worse than the area. Right. So if you, like I said, I think council would be option. There is a lesson than the option. I researched a bit, but
right. So I've spoken to some other. Well, I spoke to a manufacturer. And basically, what it is, it's a grilling type of. Looks very similar to pressure grill. Only the downside of a pressure grill, and I know even there was discussion about using tracks off a dozer, even, but we deal with the whole ecological things of things rusting in the water. Yeah. These grills that I'm referring to are actually made of fiberglass, so they do have all of the safety features in terms of it's actually can be used in drinking water cases. So the thing is, in terms of impact on the environment, it is practically nil. The company is Ontario based, which is kind of nice. And the other part of it is that they normally keep stock of the item. Thank you for the location. Anyways, what I basically these maps would picture a rectangle like 4 feet wide by 12 feet. So when I was at the launch today, I did a little bit of measurements and everything there. And currently the boat launch, is 13 feet wide. So these grills basically, like I said, 4 feet, 4 feet by, they're actually 14 feet long. So we're going to get a little bit extra length in the bottom. The 4 feet widths actually connect together. So the beauty of it is, we may say, okay, we need to cover off 20 feet this year, or we need to cover 30, but as things go on, we may have to extend. Well, that is an option with it as well. Like I said, what would have to happen is the substrate would have to get sorted out first. So obviously, as I mentioned earlier with the levels, it's actually deeper when you first hit the water than when you come out. And just for perspective for everyone, to put, I had my Sea-Doo on the back of the vehicle. So to put a Sea-Doo in the water, you need 25 inches. Because that's when the water is just over the wheel well, and that's when it flows. So that's a Sea-Doo, a relatively small water vessel. So you can just imagine boats and everything else is only going to get worse. And when I measured it at 19, that was at the extreme end of the dock. So you can see that we really, literally, it's going up. And I don't think it's through any intentional acts with people back in the water. They burrow, push it back, and that's what you get, right? So I guess the precursor to if the grades would be a viable thing is first the base has to get leveled back out. Now, whether it's via raking or whatever the mechanism is, that's, so be it. But once the grates go in, they will fill with sand, obviously, just from shore activity. But the thing is, now that it's plastic, or fiberglass, I should say, it stays there. It doesn't spin off and anything like that. So the beauty of it is it has longevity.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Absolutely.
So, fiberglass, they stay in all the time. We see
Yes.
so.
They're a one-time install.
And
I have this
the
ice
ice,
for temperature as
does
well.
ice affect them because that'll freeze right to the bottom probably there.
The only thing I could foresee in terms of when you're saying with ice and that, if there's any ice damming above, but I mean, at the bottom on the shore, I don't really like, from what they have installations already in Ontario that don't have any issues and they're left in all year long.
Yeah.
Would there be a push? Would there be a push of ice?
Well, another thing too, like the snowmobiles use it, and there are some that go on there and plow the road out. They go
Right.
down too deep. But
Well, what is gonna happen is all these, basically these little square crevices that are in it do fill with sand. So the thing is, it's not gonna have holes in it, just the natural shoreline action will end up filling those in. So whenever people are backing in with a vehicle or like I'm a snowmobiler, so the thing is when you go through there or somebody's going out on the lake for ice shacks.
yeah,
Usually they're not trying to get down below the ice, which the ice is gonna probably form a little ways out from there, and then the snow cover and everything else should be fine. Like I said, from the supplier, they do have current installs in a public boat launch scenario.
But.
Yeah.
Okay, you're saying the sand is built up on the other, but you get a north wind there and the sand keeps coming in, how do you clean these things up?
Lift them up. Literally, there's square hole, there's like it's a grid, so if it ever came to the point that there was that much sediment on top of it, you could lift them back up. We'd probably all have to eat our Wheaties before we do that, but yeah. But that is, but they are not affixed to the bottom in any way, just by natural way. That's how they're held in place. And like I said, if you ended up if you needed to, for whatever reason, they are clipped together. So if you needed to, remove, repair, whatever, one piece of it, it's not like you're trying to lift up 20-some feet, in one shot.
Hmm.
Did you possibly get a cost on reception of this stuff?
Yes, actually it is. So based on, so a 4-foot by 12-foot section that is 2 inches in depth. Okay, so it is, you can see it's beefy in that respect. I just arbitrarily picked the color gray. So anyways, per section, it is $535. No.
And how many?
Just to give you, I asked the company for a quote, just so at least this way we have a number. So for 10 sections, okay, so that would give us 40 feet at 12 feet across, okay? Including clips, including freight, taxes, everything was $7,120, $7,119 to be exact.
So that if you did that many, that's gonna go farther past than the dock, right?
No, this is 40 feet right now, and you are, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
There's another.
Well, could you not, because there is a cement pile in there.
There, well, right now, when I was there today now, at the current water level, there's, and I don't know what you want to call them, but there's the cement pieces that are there.
Yeah.
So right now, there's 3 pieces submerged.
But you wouldn't have to start from water, or from, you have to start from the end of concrete.
Exactly.
So you think you'd be able to do that?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I did this just to give us a macro number in terms of 40 feet.
Yeah.
I think once it's all, once it's leveled out and everything, I think we might see it could be less. But I took this as an arbitrary number to get us out. And like I said, right now we have 5 sections of docking, well, 7, but we have 5 sections of docking currently in at 9 feet per section. So right now the dock goes out 45 feet as it is. So it would bring us very close to the end of it, allowing for the concrete that's already in the water. So that would pretty much encompass the whole length of the current dock that's in the water. And like I said, I know there's other sections, but if we don't need to put it in, then, we don't need to put it in, but they could be added after the fact.
I just think that is someone going back in there 40 feet.
So some of
No, with
the.
your trailer, not necessarily the person's vehicle, but I mean, you figure your vehicle is approximately 20 feet long, and then, I have an 18-foot boat that usually with the tongue and everything, I'm another 20 feet. So that the tires of your trailer, you're right, it's not going to make it 40 feet, but I'll say definitely over 30. I would realistically say definitely over
Especially
30.
if you got a pad, not rollers, but padded bunk on the.
Yeah, bunks, just padded bunks opposed to roller bunks. Yeah.
You have like.
I ran it back on the trailer swing.
That's what was involved there like that, just for correction. You didn't tell me. For correction factor.
So, and I, absolutely, for you got some information, so did you talk to any municipalities or anything?
I haven't spoken to municipalities. I did speak to obviously the supplier of it.
Yeah.
He has given me the names of places that have or locations that have it. So I still haven't followed up on that as of yet. I didn't really know what the take on it was going to be at the meeting.
So how does it actually move that?
It literally goes in and it flips up in the water.
Puts up in log, so they're
Between
them. So I'm just saying, you're saying that from the concrete now it's pretty shallow, pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get shallower, obviously.
That's right.
And then now the spring time comes and the frost, that's not gonna bundle that up, so it's not gonna bundle up.
Unless it's lifting off the bottom, right? That it would be, and you brought up a good point. The fact that there's concrete there already,
Yeah.
I think that's a very good offset actually, because if we're starting where the concrete stops,
That's what
that would be actually when the water's higher, then it's going to be hitting further in, so like farther to shore. So there will be a bit more depth of water where these are. I apologize that I don't have a slide presentation that is on this, but I can leave some photos of actually what the drilling looks like as well as installation. So it's, like I said, it's already a tested and true method that is being used, and it's basically it's a matter of us figuring out our application. I've chosen 12 feet just as an arbitrary number because I wasn't sure what the width of the dock was. Well, they're backing down, that's 9 feet. So the thing is, we're a little bit wider, so people aren't going in totally straight. There's a little bit of a buffer.
But could we pass that on to Dean?
Absolutely.
You could do a further study of it in the next couple of weeks, and unless you guys have any questions you want to ask. Right?
Yes, just on the cost, how much money is your group willing to put into this? You mentioned in this funding through the round.
To be quite honest, I'd have to talk to Jeff, the treasurer of it, but I mean, to be quite honest, I'd have to speak to them. I know Rob said we would contribute some to it and also manpower, so it's as everybody knows Rob, but he's wants the community invested in it as well, so that's a big piece for us as well. So whether it be definitely money, but also manpower as well. So, but I would have to check with them, with treasurer, to see what the amount was. I know they mentioned that they put some funds towards the docks themselves as well. So he said, if we're funding that, we'll fund the other help with funding on the other as well. So.
Anything else, Brian? Carl? Ted? Harold?
No,
Fine.
Bill? Maureen?
I have another question. So, where you said you don't know where about this company is
Oh.
and how, what's the timeline to get this stuff?
So-
Get it in a week or a month?
Yeah, so 7 days is their turnaround time on it. They're like a total area, so they're not
Okay.
extremely far. And the price that I provided, and I'll give it to you as well.
Sure.
That was delivery and everything, so it was all inclusive taxes, everything, so that would be on the ground. And when I had them quote the pricing, I gave them the kilowatt postal code, so they did know where they were going, so.
It seems like a very reasonable cost for that kind of project.
Yeah, because when we looked at that other stuff, it was like 5, 6 grand. Yeah, but not the maintenance.
Well, and I think the other thing to keep in mind as well is the whole ecological piece of it. Like, we have a lot of other initiatives that we're concerned about lake health and everything like that. This plays right in the same alley that it is responsible things going into the water. So it is definitely something that, if there's thought behind it, and like, we're not the first ones using it, so.
Now, this company, would they install it as well?
I didn't ask about installation, when I was speaking to the gentleman, like, in all truthfulness, I think any one of us here can put it together, like, it's literally a U-flip, and they sit on top of each other, so, but I didn't ask if that was an option either. And I can, and like I said, I apologize, I could have did slides for it,
That's
but
fine.
I'll definitely provide everything to Dean, and then I can provide it to you both.
Right. Do you have something else, Brian?
Yeah, just a comment on the whole project thing, because, so this is actually part of the Motor River management, water management plan. That was part of the plan was to work on the dock. And, so like Scott says, it's since 2018, we've been dealing with this and we haven't made any headway really. Maybe it's time we have to look at something, try something
Yeah.
and see,
The only thing is timeline, I don't think we'd be able to do it until spring. Just because of the budget. This would have to be in our budget items, because we're pretty well maxed out.
And I didn't follow my notes or anything, I'm just rather just speak that one straight. In the past, and I don't want to go through all the minutes of the meeting, that's the only reason I know it's back in 2018, it's been an ongoing thing, but it was said, like, I think in 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken, okay, we'll have to do a line item to budget for this for next year. So at the rate right now, we have 3 years of funding, I think, based on the minutes of the meeting, that we keep saying, we're going to carry it forward, we're going to do it, we're going to do it. So I don't want all 3, I just want 1. So I guess that's what I'm trying, I guess what I'm trying to say is, and as Brian mentioned, this is something that's affecting lake residents, it's affecting guests. It's probably also helping administration here with people phoning and complaining that they can't get their boat out. So this, and that seems to be a, thing just like fall. So I think this touches many points that are having an impact now that we can address it. And, $7,000 isn't pittance, but by the same token, $7,000 is a solution. Right, and I guess that's the whole point, that'll touch many sections in terms of, yours as well as falls into the municipality and everything, with people. With the property owners association, we probably get the same as you guys in terms of people saying the water's too low and all these things. And the complaints that they can't get their votes out. So I'm not talking about anything that none of us are aware of. I guess it's more so that I'm trying to promote a suggestion that, and as Brian mentioned, this was brought up and acknowledged that it has to be addressed in the Monaster Water Management Plan. And so that's now in place. The water gets lower every year. We need to address it.
So I think our first step is to give Dean the copies.
Okay.
Let him do a report for us, and then for our next council meeting, hopefully, and then we can make a decision. And in the meantime, we can ask Tammy to look at the budget and see where everything is, and we can go from there. Brian?
Yeah, just a comment on Ted's comment there about the timeline. I know, like you said, the budget was, we're pretty strapped right now, the budget was, but this is the time we have to do it is in the fall, in the spring, the water is way up. And now it's way down, and this is when you need to do that. Unfortunately, but I know what you're saying, but the money.
Yes.
Money's always the root, right?
Root of all evil, yes.
If you want to either relate to council or Tammy or myself, whatever. See how much.
Oh, absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
What is that?
Yep.
And then I could leave that on.
That would be really good, and then we can have everything in front of us.
Ideally, if we could come up with the first 7,000.
They're not the change, they're not the change to the name of the township garden.
And there's only a small fee for that.
It's not, don't tell them not, yes, what they're gonna be.
It's the other 100.
That's the other, exactly.
Thank you for doing all the research and all
Yeah.
that legwork. Yeah.
Like I said, I apologize, we have pictures put out this projector for you, but I'll definitely, when I distribute this, I'll electronically, and it's with the preference, probably electronically better.
Yeah, usually.
Okay,
Sending out the,
absolutely. I'll send this on out and then you can. Sure. Yeah, 200 and go from there. Sure. Yep.
Before you depart, before you depart, could you also get us a cost of, from that federation, how much those signs are,
For which signs?
the muscles?
The zebra mussel signs, the small ones?
Yeah, I think we got an email, Brian, didn't we, about our pictures?
County was saying.
No, no,
County was small, $40.
no, those are, no, not those signs.
The
These
small
were-
signs that are 18 by 12,
Yeah.
those signs are free, because I went to Peterborough and picked them up myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were,
small ones.
yeah, I didn't realize
Well,
that
they're 12 by 18, so.
the ones that we would put on the shoreline, like the docks. Okay. Okay,
And we discussed using those signs
Yeah.
that we would take the map already, and all the points of entry to the lake, that's
Yeah.
where we're hoping to get signage on it, but they're, I picked up signage from anglers and hunters, and then I also picked it up from folk about the association, so I picked up both their versions of it in terms of clean water drive.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's way better than us thinking about how to design a sign.
yeah, we can take a step up on it, why not?
Well, that's awesome. Anything, anybody have anything else? We're good. Thanks very much, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good seeing you again.
Very much.
Motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of September 5.
Moved by Ted Brown, second by Maureen McMillan, motion to approve the minutes of the regular council meeting of September 5th, 2023, open and closed sessions.
All those in favor? Carried. Motion to approve the minutes of the finance committee.
Moved by Bill Smith, second by Ted Brown, motion to approve the minutes of the finance committee meeting of May 3rd, 2023.
All those in favor? Carried. Only did two, there's, and you got 3. Oh, yeah. Under meetings, just so everyone knows that there's 2 special meetings. One on September 26th at 7 o'clock. And one on October 4th at 6:30. Just make that as a special note, so everyone knows. Mr. Neff, you are up.
Thank you very much. So council, it's been a while since we've seen each other in this chamber, but we've seen each other quite a bit. Out and about in the community, because there's been a lot of events going on. Been very busy in the community development world here, since we last met in the beginning of August. So starting off August 11th, we had our swim barbecue. Here you can see these happy kids, another graduating year for the class. This was a big year because we switched over from the Life Saving Society, but everything went really smoothly. I really want to thank our instructors for doing such a great job, and to council who volunteered to cook. It really made a big difference. I appreciate your help very much. Lots of great comments from the families and kids about the program and the instructors, and hopefully we can keep doing this program and get these kids learning how to swim and hopefully become future instructors themselves. So the KHR car show, the signature from last year, but just for stock, we did have a record year this year with the amount of cars. 116 was the original number, and 102 last year, so we had a record for that. And it seemed like we had a record attendance, at least from last year, what I remember, so a very good day. Lots of awesome cars, and that was a very busy weekend for everybody as well, because they're also hazardous waste and music in the park, so that kicked off with what we can call the very, very busy time. So kicks off really nicely into the Irish Gathering. So this is a really great picture that we took at Beaver Tails with Miss O'Higgins from the Irish Embassy, Dave from Beaver Tails, and Mia from the Ministry of Tourism, Sport and Culture. This was a really big day. I felt like it went really well. Of course, I'm biased from my own opinion, but I really did feel like there was something special in the air that day. You know, the first night of Friday, it poured rain, and we still had people come out and dance, which to me was a signal that it was going to be a good weekend. And then Saturday, just the whole town was packed, filled with people. A lot of the businesses said they had really strong sales that day, including our vendors, which had excellent sales. The Knights actually did end up selling all of their food, which was awesome, and all of their raffle tickets. So I think someone went home with $2,500, which was great. The beer garden was well, first off, we had it. It took us 10 years, but we have it, and hopefully it's around to stay. We didn't have any issues that I'm aware of. And the beer garden did make money. I don't know if you want to.
In total, the profit was around $1,900, and that was split between the curling club and the friendship club, or the curling club and the Lions Club.
And then of course we had some very special special guests. That was quite an interesting thing, touring people around and also trying to run an event, but it all worked out good. And they had really great things to say about our community, the community spirit. Elizabeth sent back a lot of posts from the Irish Embassy, and Mia was really happy just to be there and experience it kind of as a tourist. And so they had really great feedback from the day, really strong feelings about the town, and just how for such a small area, for such a small village and community, we really know how to throw a good event and have, and that's not just me, that's the community showing up, you know, on Friday night, showing up in the rain and showing up for the event. So I want to thank my community partners. I want to thank all the volunteers and the Irish Gathering Committee. I couldn't have done it alone, but I felt like it was a really, truly amazing weekend. And kicked off really well into, again, these are all comes back to back. The Pathways of Resistance Festival by Redefine Arts and a whole bunch of other community partners. Really special day because it was really the first event we've ever had at the park. And so we ended up writing that in one of our grant things that, you know, this park, the money that we got from this funding actually is creating other things. And so it was really special to see that and kind of transform the park. And if you did come and see, especially this drumming and some of the workshops, it was a really awesome day for the park. OAMC conference, so that's actually where I'm at, Cindy. So that's a picture of downtown Ottawa, where the conference was held. As I traditionally do when I go to a conference, end up just being a tourist and looking at all the really cool stuff that they do, including all the street art, and they do a really good job in Ottawa, taking over back spaces for people. And the conference was really great. So there was because it was in Ottawa, a lot of people from the Ontario government were there. So I pretty much met either the person directly responsible for the funding or one person that worked for those funding agencies. And so I took it upon myself to kind of absorb as much information as I could and talk with them about some of our projects that we have currently and in the future. And I got some really good advice. There was also a lot of people from different levels of government, not just the agencies, and it was a good mix. So a lot of local people from Renfrew County and other areas And then some really good, really great workshops about things that were more local level, like they did an expose on Deep River, who's going through one of these community improvement plans, and they did a really excellent job. So thank you to council for sending me to that. I really appreciate it. I was like a sponge there, absorbing as much as I could, bringing back ideas, and of course, making connections with people to try to get us more opportunities in the future, whether that's for grants or networking to help us out when we go to do our other stuff down the line. Like Cindy from the Community Futures, who like as she said, with strategic action plans, but I also got a bunch of other people for other ideas. So really, really great. And thank you again for sending me that. Much appreciated. So this one I have to say is definitely one that's the most special. Of course, they all were really special, but this project's been a year and a bit in the making. So it was really special. I love that picture of Kathy opening up the cutting the ribbon with giant scissors, which I didn't mention Marine bought for us. I might have said it a few times at the event.
Yeah.
So I mean, what else can I say about the event? It was really awesome. We have all of our community partners there, including the people who built it, a lot of the grant funders, including Commonwealth, who had nothing but great things to say. And it was really special to see everybody together celebrating this community project, which is hopefully just the beginning for Killaloe Pathways Park. So September 9th, we had our grand opening. And it was a perfect day weather-wise and event-wise. So now kind of on to more future stuff. So we got the Loggers Festival this weekend coming up. It actually is the 20th anniversary of the Loggers, which I didn't know until not that long ago, but been going on for 20 years. Maureen and I have been trying to learn the ropes. I've called a lot of people, oh my goodness. But we, you know, all I want to say about that is Stanley, Joanne, John. I don't think people realize how much work went into this in terms of phone calling. Maureen and I don't know firsthand, but I think it's really special to think that this is the 20th year and they've been doing this for 20 years. It's a ton of work, and they're still helping us out. And so I'm really grateful to Stanley and Joanne for helping with that. And then Dean in the works department. I went there and they have all the trees stood up. So it's really starting to look like the loggers. And so that's this weekend. Coincidentally on National Forest Week. So this year, we're going to be trying to include a lot of things about education, about the logging industry and history. It doesn't help that there's a conference the same day for all of forestry, but next year, a whole bunch of them like Ontario Forest and Algonquin Forest Management and the Logging Museum are hoping to come. So we've made those connections for next year's just, so this year we'll have a bunch of information from them that they've sent down, and including stuff for kids about kind of where the forest products go, what's made from these products, sustainable processes, all that stuff. So it's gonna be a little bit different this year. We've got we've got vendors coming, we've got displays coming, we've got music, history stuff, forest management, and of course the loggers event itself. So it's gonna be a really good day. If you can make it, see you there. And then just some other quick news, FedDev final report. So a lot of grant reports that are getting done up. Songs in the Park is of course over. Pickleball meeting, I had a meeting with them on September 13th. They've had over 200 people play pickleball. I mean, obviously the same people, there's a core group probably 50 playing, but that's really taking off and they're looking to bring it indoors so they can still have it. So that's what that meeting was about. I did my summer experience final report on the 14th, the loggers draw on the 14th. And then the elusive holidays that I've been supposed to be on 3 or 4 times now. I am taking September 29th to the 13th, 2 weeks. It's been a busy summer, so I've had to move some stuff around just to accommodate all the stuff. But I will take that time off, and that's what I'm taking off. So just so that everybody's aware.
Are you sure?
Almost 90%.
Did you vote on that yet?
No. That's my report.
Well, Chris, you weren't here the last meeting. You were off running somewhere at a conference, I think it was. I just wanted to tell you, these 2 events, the Irish Gathering and the Pathway Park grand opening, were 2 outstanding events.
Thank you.
The choreograph of both events. And what I'm talking about is how everything was set up in the park, how it was designed and how accessible it was outstanding. The attendance was, despite the rain on Friday, there was people that did dance in the rain. And there was some diehards that were there right from the start to the end. And
That's why the Lions made so much room.
the entertainment was second to none. This may have been the best entertainment that we've had here at the park. It was just outstanding. The parade flowed like clockwork. There was lots of people that came into town. I thought it was just an outstanding event for our community. The market, I was a little apprehensive to begin with the Lake Street part, but as it turned out outstandingly. And the drugstore people really enjoyed the market there. I'm not sure how the market people enjoyed being on the pavement or on the sidewalk, but there was a lot of people that went down that street, which was great. The kids area was really well designed and there was lots of activities, and conveniently the ice cream guy was right there also, probably made a friggin' fortune. That worked out good. The beer garden. What can you say? You made $1,900. And that was with sort of a slow Friday. So who knows what can happen next year or in the future. It was just an outstanding event, the Irish Gathering. And I think the thing that really put a smile on my face was that all the business partners got along and they worked well together. You know, the Lions Club, the Friendship Club, everybody chipped in and there was a partnership, and that was really good. And the store owners and everybody worked together to make it successful. So the Pathways Park, you missed this last meeting. I said all this already, but the Pathway Park, I thought that was an outstanding event, and it was handled very well and very tastefully, and with
Hot dogs.
great hot dogs. Lester's hot dogs. I want to put a plug in for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.
The two barbecuers did a great job. Tammy did a great job with the Maureen, yes, with the condiments.
I had fun.
Lori, like it was a good event, and Yak's office was there, she was there, and it just worked out great. So enjoy your holidays.
Thanks.
See ya.
You did this last meeting, but I didn't mention that, like the last song in the park. I've never seen that. It was great. It's been something to-
Okay, you can leave now. Oh, Brian?
One question. The pickleball, you mentioned we're looking at moving the doors.
Yes.
And what information is.
So right now they're looking at Philly Public School. And they're basically just trying to figure out how much that's gonna cost and how many people they can post up to. So when we had met, they were kind of looking at the directors, thinking about, what can we do and how can we raise funds, and we ended up coming up with a model using a couple people, like 20 people, for example, that would prepay and that would cover your costs, and then any other walk-ins would be good. Because the big thing is the group doesn't want to be losing any funds. They don't really have a lot to work with. They just whatever they've been able to get from people donating. So they're trying to basically keep the momentum going. And so right now it's something like Killu Public School, because also they have 3 courts that they can do there. So we're in the process, and I have to thank to the Seniors Active Living, who is going to be helping out huge with the cost of the insurance, helping them manage a lot of that stuff with the CRC. So it's not just me, it is the CRC who's helping out as well with this group. So it's a really great partnership and a really great group. That's just trying to get people active in the community. So I'm really happy to see where it's going, and they're really determined. They're doing a great job.
Just two more comments for you.
Yeah.
Last Friday, I drove past the rink. There was over 20 people in the rink. It was incredible.
It's wild.
Like
It's
you
so
got to see
wild.
it.
Drove by there one day, it was Monday. Look, do the second look, what's everybody doing?
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic what it's,
Well, they're going to the, they go to get some coffee, they might go get some groceries or whatever, so it's all, like any of these things, it's all circular and, it's just great to see that energy in the community, right? Like I'm just, helping them a little bit, but it's really their energy and their determination that's making it happen.
Yeah.
So that's a big kudos to that group for having that, because it takes a lot to be able to make that happen.
and the other thing, I mentioned to Tammy today about the market people with the plug.
Yes, there was some issues with that.
Okay, so last Saturday, the meat guy wasn't there.
Okay.
So he wasn't plugged into the pole, but some of the vendors were plugged in to the pole. So Tammy had reminded me that Dale had put a cover over top the first time, and that was knocked off. Not knowing who did it or whatever, but I don't know if we put another one on or what.
I think when I was talking with Tammy, correct me if I'm wrong here, but that we're gonna try to basically help them because there was a plan to manage the electricity. So just to make sure that power is getting pulled from the other side, because there should be enough power there. It's more just about running the cord, because I don't think that one on the pole is enough to do what they need to do.
It's not our pole to begin with.
Oh,
So-
yes, that too, yeah. So I don't know. I'm not sure if Dale, what
There's two.
Dale has thought like for that, but I know from Tammy and I talking, this week, we'll be reaching out to Ray and Lynn and basically discussing how to help them make
Yeah.
sure they have enough power. And then I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Dale will figure out the other part about Blockbox.
Which is fine. But I just wanted to make sure you,
That fucking new numbers, it's been there before we amalgamated and.
I don't remember.
Power.
Oh, yeah,
It's been there since. Not since I was in the plan.
okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Dean.
So, later road maintenance continues. We rented an excavator and have installed a couple culverts, 2 culverts in town, it's roughly 100 feet long. We repaired 2 culverts on John Way Lane. We replaced 1 culvert on Division, and tomorrow hopefully we'll install another one on Leonard Road. And then doing the addition as well. Food days for the gravel tender had started on Hidden Trail today, so they got the Hidden Trail done for the A gravel. They put a little bit more on Scenic Road. They should be moving the crusher and hopefully next week, so we'll get the rest of the gravel put up the stockpile when we need it, and the rest put on the roads. And we received a new half-ton plow truck last week. For end of the loggers, the event there, we had stood up a tree that Chris had mentioned, we split the wood for the fire as well as the kids there for the wood piling contest. I think pretty much everything is on our end. I think everything should be pretty much done. We're gonna bring the trailer back to Stanley and Joanne's, I guess, because normally we do that for the prizes and stuff like that. So probably we'll have it dropped off Thursday and they do their prizes and everything in the trailer, and then they'll move it there on Saturday. Other than that, that's it for the roads. Waste management report, I had to get someone in to look at our the loader at the landfill. It ended up being just the 2 yokes of the drive shaft. So he's getting prices there for it, but I expect it's going to be anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000 hopefully. Which is good because we thought it was going to be a transmission kind of thing, so we're hoping that's going to be, but he said that he's going to get the prices, so I'm expecting it to be at that price. And the only other thing I have for waste management is the RFP for the CFD grinding. We had Greenview look over it, I looked over it, and we kind of had a resolution in there. I think we're doing both national grinding, so we're the cheapest, and I think that's another thing that we've done it in the past, so. And that's it for my department.
Resolution.
Moved by Ted Brown, second by Harold Levine, that council for the township of Kilby, Hagerty and Richards accepts the RFP from National Grinding Inc. for waste processing at the Kilby Waste Disposal Site for 2023, corresponding with a proposal price of $23,000 excluding HST for processing of regular C&D and bulky waste, and a per additional cubic meter cost of $20 per cubic meter for any additional waste accrued at the Kilby Waste Disposal Site between the date of issuance of the RFP.
Any questions? All those in favor? Carried. Any other questions of Dean?
I have just, I got a few, comments from people about this, regarding the, Mountain View Road and, and the portion that's not finished on there. They're, saying it's very rough and something on the river, or is it the road? I'm not sure if it's, I guess it's really was 40 in places, and that must be what they're referring to.
I would say a lot for you, right? I was really going to say, is this still a lot for you?
Yeah, I think a lot of, I didn't give them much answer. I said I'll bring it to you attention, but you know, with the dry weather and stuff.
That contributes a lot to it. Yeah, like, you know, like, I haven't, like, the way we're saying about holes, we haven't. Yes, Mountain View is, and that's one of the roads we're gonna be, graveling as well. There's Mountain View from, this road there, with, all the way up. And we can contribute, keep going up there, but yes, no, we'll definitely take care of that, but that's what it is. Because it is washboardy because of.
That's all I can see. What it drive on the
Yeah, no, yeah. No, that's basically what I would presume that's what it is. Yeah.
Thank you.
I agree.
Okay. I didn't think about it.
Perfect.
The end of James Street, there's that River Street, one down back to the fresh right there, River Road, that corner, you coming from Freshman side of that corner, you can't see nothing. I come around that corner that's rolling so bad, remember last time?
Yeah, the last count, yeah, it's like I told Carlos, the tractor was out around Lakes, so it's kind of, once we get closer, we'll.
Yeah, I think it is bad.
And that's basically where it's not.
A lot of people going on that.
But yeah, you had mentioned as well that.
It's
It's bruised people as well.
Yeah, so it's really bad.
No, once we get
If
it.
you go around the corner, I go like this, see everybody's coming down.
Speaking of trees, there's one too across from where Bill lives there. On James Street, it's hanging right down on the road. It's not private property, but the branches are coming onto it.
Is that?
It's at Smokes.
Oh, okay, there, yeah. I think we had,
We've done it before.
I think I talked to her before one time.
Maureen? Anything for Dean?
Yeah, I do actually. I was just wondering, were we responsible for Mountain View Road? There's like that hill you go up and the ditch is like, it looks like the road's been widened and.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, anyway.
Nice, eh?
Yeah, it looks really nice. So people were complimenting and I said, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it was, but okay.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a.
Yeah, people are really complimenting.
Yeah, it had
That.
that brushed first, and then we had the ditch.
Yeah, and I drove up there and it looks really, really nice. Yeah.
Bill?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Harold? Have a good night. Oh, not yet. Okay, that has to leave, so there's a motion.
So we're gonna do. I, Ted Brown, declare pecuniary financial interest with road and general voucher 08-2023.
All those in favor? Carried.
Questions.
Oh,
Did you want to just keep your hand up? Oh, Brian, yes, we'll take your question first.
25520.
That's a good question. Is that a band?
5520.
Is that a band? Is that a band? That's a good question. I thought it might have been a band, but I'm not sure. A band, you know, for the Irish Gathering. But I'm not sure.
Sound nice.
It's dumped there.
No, it's just they're all sticking together. Oh, that's the postage meter, that's postage for our mail.
And the other one I had was 25550.
That's home hardware.
19,000.
COVID.
Talk to me about that.
I have one. I know, 25561.
Oh, that was mine.
That's for the sound system for the weekend, for all those events.
Oh, okay.
Terry Mask.
Sound system for all the events.
Oh,
No, I have nothing.
oh my God.
First time.
Come on, just make up one. Make up one. Okay, I guess we need a motion for that.
Moved by Bill Smith, second by Maureen McMillan, motion to approve the road in general voucher 08-2023 in the amount of $365,871.79.
All those in favor? Carried. Have a good night. Tammy. Tammy's turn.
Okay, so I just have a couple of things in open, but I have a lot in closed. So the first thing I have is in the papers, we had the fire truck, the pumper for sale. So we received 3 bids, and if Mayor Mayville would mind going ahead and reading.
Okay, the first bid was from Gordon Morrison of Muskoka Water Services in the amount of $3,678.55. The second bid was from Jim Key of 1550 Hummingbird Trail in the amount of $3,100 plus taxes. Third bid was from McFarland Trucking of Pembroke in the amount of $3,000. So.
Is there a motion prepared?
You have a motion prepared?
Mhm.
Let's hear our motion.
So moved by Bill Smith, second by Maureen McMillan, that council for the township of Killaloe, Haggerty and Richards accepts the bid for the 1990 Ford fire truck with Ford diesel engine from Gordon Morrison of Muskoka Water Services in the amount of $3,678.55.
All those in favor? Carried.
The next thing that I have is I received an email reply from Greg McLeod in regards to the foot clinic. And basically he just said, thank you very much for putting all the work and effort together and trying to find a spot for them, but they're at the Friendship Club and they're going to stay with the Friendship Club. But he said, thank you very much for everything that council has done. And then the last thing I have, the second last thing I have for open is at the last council meeting, council, you received a petition from Kate Merton in regards to speeding on County Road 58 Round Lake Road. And I know that you had, talked to the county and they're in the process of trying to make that a community safety zone. However, Ms. Merton has asked that pertaining to the speeding, she's asking council for support to her suggestions, requesting that the county initiate a speed study to provide speed data to the OPP detachment for enforcement purposes, and that the county take into consideration installing speed cameras that automatically record the speed of drivers and send tickets to those registered vehicles that have been found speeding. So she has asked me to bring that just forward, just because it kind of got missed, I guess, at last council meeting. So I'm bringing it forward.
Zero, absolutely not. We're not putting up cameras, send tickets to people.
I think
We don't know who's driving there, so.
And really, it's a county road, so she knows that. And what she's asking for is if council would consider passing a resolution to request that the county move forward with those two suggestions.
I'm supporting it,
yeah.
because county's already told us that they put up the speed things, and that does get sent to the OPP.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what else they're going to do.
Yeah. I think we've exhausted almost every avenue we possibly can,
We still haven't got our yellow signs.
or paint. But I think we've exhausted every possible scenario we possibly can. And it's been on the top of the list since December or even
You know,
before that.
I've been talking about speeding. You know, Johnny Bojak's there today, the speed limit was 40, I was doing 50 and a half ton truck pulled up past me on Queen Street. I just went. Yeah, past me there.
So, okay, can we just go around the table to discuss her request, Harold?
I don't agree with putting cameras up, even trying to, it's,
Well, I think there's two things, the cameras and the study.
the county's putting up those counter boxes that is gonna take info and go back to the OPP.
Yeah, they're gonna put up the signs for that community safety zone. Once that safety zone gets put up, then that goes right to the OPP. And when they do a check, like a radar thing, anybody who's got speeding, it's double the fine. So,
She's asking that in her correspondence, she had asked the county, I guess, needs a resolution from council to be able to do the speed study, provide the data to the OPP. So she's asking council to ask that of the county. And then in her second part is she had made the suggestion of the speed cameras as well. So to do anything on that road, council needs to support her suggestions to send to the county before the county will even look at anything.
Bill, your turn. Any comments?
I don't support the photo radar for the same reason that Ted suggested. And I think we've already dealt with the county. It's probably just.
You had them here.
Yeah, Maureen?
Well, I'd like to wait for the community safety zone signs to go in. I mean, I don't see what the problem is supporting a speed study, but maybe that's a second to wait till these come in if it's still a problem,
But
then
they
support it, right?
They do the speed studies already. They put the counters in, they send all information to the OPP. They told them so. They're here last meeting.
And plus it's a
I think we
highway.
have to request that though, that's what she's asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't do that.
And plus
So-
it's a highway and they won't lower it below the 80, right?
Uh-huh.
Isn't that what he said last week? So, Brian?
Yeah, I agree, but I'd like to see a tentative resolution so that the county will do something about it. They're not gonna put another counter up or flashing sign or anything unless we support it. That's, I think, what Kate Merton's asking.
No, it's like, remember he said there was a weight or something for that, and not. To go back and watch that movie.
There is a wait.
There is a weight, yeah, he said there was a weight of like so long. And that travels around from place to place, remember all that?
They
For the one
put
time.
them up there before they went on around.
Uh-huh,
Carl?
I think we've exhausted this. As you speaking here, it's a county road beat, you know?
Doesn't matter where you go, it's the same, everybody that lives in certain places, it's everybody else is speeding, and everybody speeds everywhere, so. I get it all the time when I'm driving, people will be out walking and they're going like this for me to slow down because I'm in a big truck. I'm already going 10 kilometers under the speed limit, so.
But they feel
Just
you're going
because
fast.
people think you're speeding doesn't mean they are speeding. The county already put stuff up, they told us that. I'm not supporting any resolution.
I think we have mixed, so let's have a vote. All those in favor of supporting the resolution, raise your hand. 1, 2, defeated.
Okay, and then the last thing I have is the development charges. So on September 6th, I provided council with information from the county of Renfrew pertaining to the development charges. The county had given a deadline to the end of the day on September 26th to comment. So staff and I reviewed the information we received from the county of Renfrew. And we believe that there's not enough information to be able to provide comments specific to the intended policies and procedures the county is proposing to implement pertaining to the development charges. So as staff, our questions would be, what would be the revised calculation and what information is being used for these calculations? Are these development charges, policies and procedures related to the 2021 development charges in urban areas, corporate policies and procedures that were presented in 2021? As indicated on page 38 to 40, what's the definition between the county of Renfrew, 80% of the countywide scenario, and the county of Renfrew, 100% countywide scenario? If you look at it for residential, it says that, for a residential and a single family dwelling, I believe it's like almost approximately $5,000 for development charge. But there's those two different scenarios where it says 80% of a countywide scenario and 100% of a countywide scenario. So I would like to have a definition as to what those two are. Staff have concerns with the following, that we are concerned with the timing and the state of which the economy is in, as with the constant rises in necessities such as food, gas, clothing, housing, etc. Who would be responsible for administering and collecting the development charges, as if it was up to municipalities. Ourselves are already understaffed and with limited resources. And we believe that there should be an option of no development charges at this time, with the county finding alternate methods to support their infrastructure projects. We are also of the opinion that the county of Renfrew should, at this time, based on the information known to us, we do not believe that the proposed development charges would benefit our municipality and ratepayers. However, we are of the opinion that if the 17th corridor is interested, we would support them. So I don't know if council has any comments on development charges, or if council's okay with what our staff concerns are. If I can forward that to the county to let them know what staff here are feeling.
What was the date we have to submit this by?
September 26th.
Right. I'm assuming everyone read that package that we gave. Does anyone have any questions or concerns what staff has done already?
I think it's great.
I think it's outstanding.
What you reported.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sitting through and picking what's wrong.
In some municipalities, this is a big trigger point. There's going to be a lot of controversy over this.
And that's all I have for open.
Does any committee have any report? Haven't seen none. Let's move to correspondence. Town of Grimsby. I enclosed this one, the police record check revenue to municipalities. That's for your information to read through, just to see how they've reduced their costs to the municipalities and how they've done that. So basically, it's for your information. Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
Is this something that is going to be done? Because there's like please return the completed chart no later than October 16th. So they're looking for municipal partners positions. Is that something that we're actually doing?
I think it was more that they wanted 5 items that
Uh-huh.
are your priorities from your municipality to be included in their overall package.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking it's the Ontario Housing Accessibility or Affordable Task Force. I'm wondering,
You got
it
that?
needs to be looked through, and is that the one which we're?
Yeah.
So there are 70, how many, 74
For
in
unique
total?
recommendations.
Yeah, and how many have been passed already? 23.
23.
Yeah, so I think what they're looking at is your top 5 for the one of this, the ones of the 74 that weren't implemented. I think they're wondering, like, they want to know what our municipalities' top 5 are.
Mhm.
So we'd have to take a look at this Ontario housing
I don't think, did we get that?
back a long time ago.
I don't remember that.
Mhm.
Do you want Tammy to go through that and list these 5, or do you want Tammy to come back to us, or how do you want to do that? How would you like to do that?
I can bring it back to council because it says no later than October 16th.
Mhm.
So bring it back with recommendation 5. Or we would.
Thank you.
The Valley Net. CHCR. Rapid antigen testing.
So this one here came from Bob, and I guess the health team is asking if we want to be in partnership with them to have rapid antigen testing kits available here for the community, as there's only certain locations that can have that carry them now. At grocery stores, they don't believe, I think in here it says grocery stores don't carry them anymore. So what they're asking is if council's interested in that.
So they would be at the front desk, is that?
Correct.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's,
Is there any talks to the candidate?
As far as I know, I looked to see, it's just a matter of filling out a form and what we're offering, and we have to abide, but we will not charge anybody for them.
No significant administrative burden to actually hear them out.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is something I got at county council the other day. You've got this in a package that Tammy mailed to you, but I wanted to highlight the levy for 2023, the very first column, for your information.
What's this need today?
Ministry of Health, Municipal Affairs and Housing. And
We
this-
are one of the 15 winners for our 2022 Financial Information Return Award. We did it here 4 or 5 years in a row. Yay.
Congratulations.
Pretty good award. I think that was all of them, wasn't it? There was a lot today. Right,
Can we go back to that one on the OPP with the record check?
yes, sir.
I don't. I'm reading it wrong here, so. In the bottom paragraph, OPP police municipalities will continue to receive police records that revenue. Are we getting revenue from the OPP for this?
No, certain municipalities do,
Yeah.
we do not.
But we don't.
Unless that's built into unless that's built into the reduction, because last year we had a reduction in cost, it might be built in.
What do we have to do to get this?
Brian, just for clarification, it may be built in. If you recall, our policing costs last year went down pretty significantly. Like, I want to say maybe 20 to 30,000. I'm not sure the numbers, so I better not say, but it did go down. Yes.
Yeah.
So this may be built into that formula where we don't get to see that actual line. Okay, how much?
People didn't speed.
You said it went down to $20,000 or $30,000.
Yeah, like in total, this may be one of the triggers, indicators that. Not this exact. Okay. Any unfinished business? Any new business? Motion to,
I got an email from the Veterinary Services Committee from Carlton regarding that meeting that we normally send a council to. It's on the 26th of September. I just wanted to know if council wishes for me to go and Stanley used to do it every year. Yeah.
on which. I think your priority, Brian, is green burial.
Pardon me? Are you gonna attend the meeting then and I'll go to the green burial one?
Well,
You gotta send someone there to represent our township. Farmers that do have cattle and stuff.
Is there a staff person that can go on behalf of the township? Or is there a staff person that can go on behalf of the township and report back to us rather than sending a counselor?
like,
Always the Senate counselor for the last 100 years.
I know, but I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 meetings that night.
would Tyler go to something like that?
I mean, I can ask the committee and I can ask the staff.
I think Brian should go personally. He's on that, he's appointed in that position.
Ted's not going to be here at the green burial. Is anyone else not going to be here?
Hopefully not getting married.
There won't be any.
So we'll have a quorum.
Any decisions made on green burial that night, I can tell you right now, and I've attended 2 or 3 green burial meetings, so. Up to about a year of green burials. If there's any new information, I can always get it from council field. This is, I just need to put it in council if I'm going, if not, that's all I do.
Okay,
I'd say that.
let's have a vote. Go. Motion to enter in the committee of whole.
Okay. Moved by Ted Brown, second by Harold Levine, be it resolved that council moves into a closed meeting pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended for the following reasons. Personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, labor relations or employee negotiations, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, advice that is subject to solicitor client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose, information explicitly supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board by Canada, a province or territory, or a crown agency of any of them, a request that with the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act if the council, board, commission, or other body is the head of an institution for the purposes of that act. An ongoing investigation respecting the municipality, local board, or municipality controlled corporation by the ombudsman appointed under the Ombudsman Act and ombudsman referred to in section 223.131 of this act, or the investigator referred to in subsection 239.2.1.
Okay,
Very well.
all those in favor? Carried.
Okay.
If anybody wants to go to the washroom or break, do it now, because this could be a while.